All right, we're live.
Fantastic. Wow. Let me welcome everyone on a Saturday Night Live back to the Rad Show. Um, my name is Mike, aka Monster. Um, Feels a little rusty. We did take a week off last week, Peter.
Yeah,
So it does feel good to be back here again with you on another Saturday night, Pete. How you doing?
good man. It's good to see you. Was excited to get back. I was away, and I know you've been busy dealing with a couple things, and just good to be back. It was definitely busy. It was a busy week, and excited to get back together, talk RC and our special guest, and definitely looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Yeah, Pete, why don't you thank all the sponsors real quick and we'll get formal. And I think I do want to take a minute. Maybe I'll quickly address why we took some time off last week and but
Yeah.
let's get started officially here, Pete.
Yeah, so each week we like to thank our sponsors, people that give us ideas and content for the show. So 2.4 Designs, RC Car Action, Carry All RC, Trail Hobbies, RC Pro Rack, Crazy Crawler Foams, Power Hobby, Cow RC, Lifted Custom RC, Adventure RC, Crawler Colt RC, K&K Hardware, Scale Rat, Westmade, RC Midfits, Race Place, and FMS. So thank you to all those sponsors. Each week, it grows, and all the collaborating vendors we work with, during the week. Thank you all for making this possible.
Great job. Thank you, Peter. Yeah, it's no question. I think I did get a few emails, cell phone texts, private messages. Everybody was asking how I was doing. It's no secret. Yeah, last weekend I did end up in the emergency room. Um, took We spent about 12 hours there. For those that know me that are really close, I had a small bowel resection done when I was 30. So stomach issues have plagued me a very long time. Um, I think we can get to the long and to the short end of the story, and that is with a little bit of diet, better hydrating, more exercise. I think I'll be doing okay. Of course, we're going to have to do a colonoscopy and endoscopy. We have a lot more tests ahead of us. But with some over the counter drugs and a lot of family support, the latter part of this week, there has been a major change for the better between eating healthier. So that's great news. A little bit of a scare last weekend, and it just didn't feel right to do the show under those conditions. Um,
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. I mean, I know I
thank
was
you.
talking to you last week and sending me
Well,
pictures.
I'll
I
tell you, I was super stoked because I had just gotten out of Facebook jail on Friday. I did my 30-day sentence, and I was ready to celebrate. I was going to do the that Russian roulette, that social roulette on Saturday night. I knew you were out of town. I was so excited. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be fun to get back in the swing of things. But life always has other plans. So we roll with the punches and keep trucking on. That's the simple.
well, and I think that's a good point. I mean, a lot of people take their health for granted, and people that are in their 30s, 40s, no matter what age you are. I mean, I think it's very important that you have to put your health in mind. So I'm glad you're better. And before we introduce the guest, I know things will work out. Stay strong. Everything you said you'll do. I know it. Just I see people coming into the chat room here. RC Pro Rack, Tyler Slane. For anybody that's joining, make sure if you have any questions for our guest, just throw them in the chat room. Mike's looking, I'm looking. We'll stop. Um, so
And you know
yeah.
what, Pete? I'm going to throw it out there early in this show. We did the letter of the week.
Oh yes.
For those that tune in weekly, We do the letter of the week. We did the show with Rob Matthews turned into an to a disaster. But we actually did give the fourth letter. We gave the four-letter word.
And no,
So I'm gonna leave it out there like that. So let's just say the first person to type in, you get one guess. I don't want that smart aleck just typing in every four-letter word. But if you do your one guess, and if you do get it right, I still have it right here. The sweet little prize from Power Hobby, a 900 milliamp SCX24 battery sitting right here. If you guess the four-letter word. Now, if that does not happen in this show, Pete, we'll come up with an alternative by the end of the show to come up with a plan B to make sure we get this thing away tonight.
yeah, I hope somebody. I mean, that's a nice little lipo for the micros. I mean, I hope
Right?
somebody gets it. I mean, we gave all four letters, and hopefully somebody gets it in the hour here. So
I
I'm
hate to
excited
I
about our.
hate to bust it open, but I mean, a 900 milliamp for a micro. I know the scale micro comp guys, it might be a little bit much battery for a micro comp truck, but if you're one of those micro guys that wants the milliamp for the runtime, it's a nice setup,
On your micro all day with that.
right? With lights, and you can put your boombox on and listen to your tunes. Yeah, Pete. I think what we're going to do this week, we'll get back to our regular format. We'll bring our guest on here. I want to welcome him. And then at the end of the show, I know we probably have 2 weeks worth of
Yeah.
recapping projects and what's on my workbench. Yeah, I've been busy. I got a few things I'd like to share. Um, but it's no secret, Pete. We got a guy lined up here. People know him obviously by name. Gabriel Fleming of G Speed Team G Speed Chassis. Um, but it's kind of funny. I think I've been very vocal since you've known me, Pete. I've been very vocal when it comes to flat rail comp trucks. They tend to give me a headache. It's no secret. The comp scene and just flat rails, the approach angle, all the nonsense, all the alpha male comp stuff just does not speak to me. Uh, but when I got introduced to Gabriel Fleming, I think it was through I'm sure probably Jeremy Kilburn or someone probably pointed me in the direction of G Speed, and I think you were looking into a flat rail this time last year, and all that. It just all the stars were aligned for me to reach out to him, and I was brutally honest with him. But one thing about Gabe that he did right, he said all the right things. Not only was he the official flat rail for the Recon G6, he had it certified, but he's a flat rail guy that caters to scale trucks. He builds a flat rail for scale trailing. He went to, it might have been Proline by the Fire or one of the Axial events last year, and they were priding themselves on these flat rail builds and how scale they can make it. So when you have a flat rail guy so focused on a scale trail truck, I'm like, you know what? Ding, ding, ding. Gabe, you're saying all the right things. You've got my attention. And then we did a single shoulder sling bag from the V1 series. And then obviously the backpack that broke the internet. I'm probably when we bring Gabe on, I'm going to send some photos over to you, Pete. I think I'll upload the G Speed bag, so maybe we can share your screen and show this one off. Remind people. I mean, the G Speed bag really broke the internet, changed carry all 100%, or the sales and the way we work. So he's
Yeah.
one of the good guys. Gabe, I want to welcome you officially to the Rad Show on our Saturday Night Live. The weekend, the night before Father's Day. This is a very special show.
Well, right on, Mike. I appreciate you guys having me. Proud to be here, and excited to talk about some scale RC.
I
You know,
love
what's
it.
coming up with G Speed, and kind of get to know you guys a little bit better face to face, even though me and you have had quite a few phone calls, you know?
Yeah, yeah. But I hope we can touch on that at some point. I definitely have that down here on my questions is to kind of figure out what's on your calendar, and hopefully at some point this year we'll get our paths to actually cross face to face. I'll ask it right now. Are you going to Proline by the Fire?
I am going to Proline by the Fire. Yes, I'm going to be
Wonderful.
there. The three big events, I believe three. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but right now is Axial Fest over here on the West Coast. So I'll be there with the G Speed event tent and everything, and I'll be at Proline by the Fire, and then ASD Autism Awareness Crawl. That's a huge one for us over here in California. Those are Brandon and Oscar are friends of mine, and I've been supporting them for a long time. And it's just a great atmosphere of a lot of cool people from way back in the community here in California to you know, every year there's just a bunch of new people, which is great too. And it's actually really cool with all the events that we go to. So I mean, we get guys from a long time ago that have been following and supporting, and it's just amazing how big this community is getting in, you know, the scale trail part of it, like you guys are more accustomed to, and the comp scene that we're accustomed to, you know. And one thing I wanted to tried to explain, I explained to Mike before on the phone, is G Speed Chassis, we started out G6 trailing. That's what it was about. With local here in San Francisco Bay Area is the Diablo Crawlers, which you know, we're a big part of here, and the events and different get-togethers I would set up was following right after Brian Parker, you know, and then Golden State RC Crawlers also, they had a long time ago had a monthly event that was 200 gates, and it was just a big fun G6 run, and you're out there with your friends and everything. So that's where G Speed started. And then not till about, honestly, a couple, maybe 2 years ago, did we start getting heavily into the Sorca comp scene, you know, and following, you know, setting our trucks up for the rules. And actually it was in 2019. And that's when I met Christopher Schumann from Team Garage Hack and the rest of their team at Scale Nationals in Albuquerque. And I saw the how that event was, and just seeing the, you know, the camaraderie of their team. I ended up joining Team Garage Hack team, and I admired the, you know, the way they did things. And it is a whole team effort in this Sorca competing, and Team G Speed is following suit right after Team Garage Hack, and we as a team here practice at home, and we travel to events together, and we're spotting for each other and helping each other with our builds, getting ready. So it's really cool. And back to what I was saying about the big events around everywhere, it's cool to see all these new people coming into the community. And what Team G Speed is about is we're an open book, and we will tell you everything you need to know to do the best you can. And then it comes down to the driver. You know, so we're here to help and, you know, have a great time and be competitive, you know, while that 6 minutes is going on course. And then after that, we're all fun and games. So
That's absolutely fantastic. And I can second all of that. Just between right into it, getting set up with my first G Speed flat rail truck and handing me off to Hardcore, the links, and Team Garage Hack with the tool, the little tool to put the links together. I mean, from beginning to end, the entire experience of buying a G Speed flat rail comp truck has been a joy. And we had that thing assembled in probably 6 hours.
awesome.
And
Good to hear.
most flat rails, like this flat rail comp truck I built, that's like a year in the making. It's finally done, but that took me a year. And you know what? I'll pull it out right now. I mean, it's done. 6 hours later, I mean, it's still got the tape on there, but that tape is to identify where the links go. You match it up with the header card. the simplicity of it all. I mean, from start to finish, I have a carbon fiber flat rail. Like everything about it is just fun. I'm so happy with this thing. I can't wait till Father's Day to get started tomorrow and take this thing out on the rocks and play with it. The experience of buying a G-Speed flat rail was phenomenal.
Great to hear.
And yeah, you made that possible. But I know for a fact it was not, you didn't roll out the red carpet for me personally. This would have been the same thing you would have done for anyone.
Yes.
And that's what's important. I mean, the customer service and the way you guys interact on the trail. And I've seen the YouTube lives, the Instagram lives. I've seen you at these events on the rocks competing. You're just a man with the red shoes that you just can see you are vibing with great energy and extreme passion. It's just awesome to see. And I love that you're holding nothing back and actually sharing secrets with people and helping them and growing the hobby. So bravo to you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. It's nice to hear.
Yeah, and one of the things I wanted to go off on that is, social media is big, and one of the things that I see is looking in your chat rooms, looking in your forums, and I subscribe to all of them. Everybody that's on those forums, they conduct themselves in a professional manner, and I'm blown away that if somebody asks a question, because remember, we all started somewhere, right? We're all not expert comp people. We don't have 30 years under our belt. I watch people ask the simplest questions, and there's always somebody there, either from your team, you, or somebody that follows G Speed that's always there to help. And that's what's key about the RC community. And bravo to you and your following, because it's not about how much you know. That's why I'm in the hobby, to educate people and to learn. So, bravo to you and your following and your brand, because it shows a lot about your following.
Thank you. Yeah, when the people come on to Team G Speed Chassis Facebook group, which is basically, it is our team page and group. So I don't have, like other teams will have a private chat or have a private, group. I don't have that because our team group is public. And when we have things to talk about or things to help people out, we want to be all together and, so everybody can see everything. It is what, I mean, to me, it's just my opinion, what's the use of having a secret chat? It's not like we're trying to, be NASCAR drivers and make a bunch of money. Why not let everybody win? So there's room for everybody on top. And that's why, Team G Speed does take it to the top and everybody's welcome, and like you said, we're on there helping. And I mean, the following of the page at 17,000 members, that kind of explains how comfortable people feel and they stay, and sure, there's some bad apples every now and then and leave, but we are what we are. And, I'm real happy how it's going.
Well, that's amazing. The transparency of, like you said, just leave it all out. I like that attitude. But it's just super important to just have, Facebook can chew you up and spit you out if you don't have thick skin. And to have a safe place like that, it is important for someone. If you want to grow the comp scene, you need to have a safe place for people to come and ask.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not going to call what's a simple question. Just any question should be able to be asked and answered respectfully, because I've seen sometimes people get chewed up and spit out. You better
they do. And
guns
honestly,
blazing.
myself and my admins, we're all on the same page about, we're not just listed as admins on the group. We're actually doing our job, so there's always going to be simple questions coming up. We all started at one time, and sometimes people need to ask it a few times, and some people like to hear themselves talk and type, but whatever, you just gotta accept that. And honestly, when somebody ends up coming and their reaction is not very nice to a newcomer and and belittles them, then we say something to that person, and if it continues, then we have no problem with the block button and kicking somebody off of the page. There's no problem at all, because there's no reason for it. There's a lot of happy people that are in this hobby and want to have fun. And so we do our job, and then that's why it continues to be, a good place to come, and you're not going to get flamed on by some guy that thinks you should know something already, and spin around the block a bunch of times.
I love it.
Yeah.
So Gabe, let me go with the first question. I want to kind of flat rails can give me a headache very quickly, and the flat rail, the brains behind these, the brain of a designer of a flat rail can sometimes send me off, and I get lost very quickly when they're low center of gravity and approach angles and all that kind of stuff. It gets overcomplicated, but you seem to keep it fun. Can you give us a simple answer as to maybe the difference between, it's a two-part question, because I'm understanding now there's different G-Speed chassis. So I think I'm rocking a V3.
Yeah.
So what are the differences between the Team G-Speed, and why G-Speed over another flat rail out there? Because there's a ton of them.
Yeah. Well, kind of glad you asked the question about what makes them better than other ones out there. And honestly, I don't compare our rails to other ones out there.
Okay.
We run what we run because it's working for us. So if somebody else finds another brand chassis, like my friends at Brazen, or the Sherpa that Christopher, my good friend Christopher, designed, or Corrupt Carbon Works, there's a lot of great ones out there, and they're different designs. And if that's going to work for you, then I support that. So I don't, and have never had any chassis to in my shop and compared to see what mine's going to do better than theirs. I could care less. What we're doing is creating something that is going to do good for us, and with input from team drivers and designers. And for instance, Christopher Schumann, he helped design the TGH V3 chassis that you're running now, and it works great. It's different than a lot of other chassis, just like those chassis are different. So anyway, to go back to that, yeah, I could tell you what's different, a little different than other chassis, but I'd rather not. I'd rather just, run ours and enjoy the changes that we've made from the version 1 to the 2, and then now we got the 3. Are you having technical difficulties, Mike?
Mike, you still there? You can hear me, Gabe, right?
I can hear you. Yeah.
No audio. Yeah, and I think that's a good point. While Mike's coming back, there's so many options, right? We talk about,
I lost.
Oh, there you go.
Can't hear.
All right, you're back. We hear you. There's so many options for people in the market, right? You look at even like Trail with wheels, there's Vanquish, there's so many, but I always tell people, you got to go with what you're passionate about. You got to do what works for you. Just like you, I'm not going to tell people what you can buy. I'm not going to tell people what the best is. I know what I like. I know what I like to run. I
Yeah.
see I have multiple brands. I'm not going to say mine's better than yours. It's all about competition, what you like, and supporting the community and the brands. That's what makes this hobby so great. It's options.
Yeah.
You
Right.
have tons of flat rail options. I mean, I have a TGH Sherpa. I'm going to get a G-Speed. I'm going to broaden my horizon of flat rails. And that's what I like to do. Keep my options open. Still got your mic, or
He's scrambling.
yeah, we'll give him a second here. Give him a second.
Sure.
Hello.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you hear? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hear me? Well, all right. Screw that.
Now I can't hear you. Can't hear you, Mike.
All right, as he's going through his setup, you want to touch a little bit. You want to talk a little bit about the store. I remember you and I started talking about Trill when you were opening the store.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got the G Speed store, not officially open, but it's kind of uh, go back just a little bit of why this is happening right now. And basically, uh, a few months ago, wasn't really looking to open up a store and get a commercial space because I've been doing everything out of my garage and out of my house for a few years, well, many years since I started G Speed, which is about 8 years ago. But then started getting real busy when I ended up going live with my website, right when COVID hit. Actually, it was around September, October of 19, and end up starting a website, paying for it, not knowing anything about it. And then ended up moving on it and doing something with it once COVID hit, and decided to have my own store. And then that kicked off big time, and it's been going great at just doing it out of my house. And then I wanted to do a little bit more and carry more product. And in order to have that space, I thought, not thought, I knew it was going to be a better option to get, somewhere commercial, somewhere that I could set bigger shelves up and keep a lot of back stock.
And how did you do? Some RC brands didn't do well during COVID. Some did. I mean, I know during COVID when it hit, I was on furlough and all I did was build. So I actually spent probably more than I thought I would buying trucks, buying parts. And so how did you do during COVID?
I did amazing. I mean, I started, like I said, I started the website like that March of 2020. And, the first year, first month made a little bit of money, but yet, people didn't know that the website was even, a thing yet. It was just still peddling the stuff on the side through Facebook and, just like Instagram and just locally, not just literally probably, like 5 chassis a month or something before I hit the website. And then the website went up, and then I was able to, on our local Facebook group, announce it. And then, then the first month there was like 20 chassis went out. And fortunately, even though COVID was here, there was people building, like you said, yourself was building. And every month, and no exaggeration, from then till this month right now is a 5% increase in sales every single month compared to the month prior to it. So it just grew and grew right off the bat, and it was amazing. So I'm not too sure what RC, do you know of any the RC, did you refer to some RC companies that did have a hard time through COVID?
Well, I just heard through the grapevine, like some, nothing specific, like some sales went down, as far as staffage or people weren't spending, or, I mean, I know myself, I mean, I bought 4 trucks during COVID, which
Yeah.
I wasn't anticipating, but I was on furlough, and what am I going to do? I have a hobby room here,
Yeah.
so I'm glad it worked out for you.
Yeah.
I just heard different things, people laying people off, and some sales were down, but then I heard other brands were doing well. So, it's all about the community and seeing people grow. I mean, I hate to see brands not succeed. Obviously life happens, and, things happen, and something we were faced with, but I'm glad to see people getting back on their feet. It's good to hear sales are increasing, and, people are back, comps are back. I remember when comps started back up, and, people just built, and, it's good to see things back to normal, sort of.
Yeah. So back to the store. So anyway, I was a few months ago had an idea of, oh, it'd be cool to, and it'd help some things out if, I found something, and didn't really, I wasn't really seriously looking, but I put some feelers out there just to see what it would cost, and I had no idea, because I'm most people know, but I'll go ahead and let everybody know here that I'm a union electrician. I've been an electrician for 25 years. Been with the same company for 23 years. And I haven't worked for that. I'm technically still hired retired. I haven't told him I'd quit, but I have not worked for that company in 6 months or more, because I'm just doing G Speed, and so in order to keep this going, I'd like to scale it more. So I had my eyes open for some commercial area, and I looked around, and we live in a San Francisco Bay Area, and it's pretty pricey for anything, even though it's in an industrial area. And the first few places I looked at was a little out of the price range, or at least in the mindset I had back then, it was out of the price range, and didn't really want to bite off that much. So I just kind of backed up and just kept doing stuff out of my house, and it was going fine and everything. And then I happened to I was in an establishment here in the city that I live in, San Ramon, California, and I was getting my Forerunner worked on by a shop that I frequent, and they do work for me, and the owner knows kind of what I do on the side, and I mentioned it to him every now and then when I'd come in to get the cars worked on, if I had to, which wasn't too often. So I just kind of reminded him, and then I told him about maybe finding a place, and he goes, "Man, you should talk to the owner of this building we're in." And the building that we're in is like a strip of garages that you would see like smog shops in, and performance car shop, full size car shop. Well, I said, well, yeah, that'd be great. I mean, if the price was right. And I ended up talking to the owner, and I didn't know, but I mean, I knew one of the companies that was in the building was my buddy's electrical shop. He's an electrician too. He opened a shop for himself a while ago, and I knew he was in there, and I had talked to him for a bit. So I didn't know his situation. So anyway, I made an appointment with the owner of the building and took a walk with him, and he started talking about my buddy Kevin with the electrical shop, and told me he was downsizing, and maybe we can do co-lease and create a new lease, and then me take over basically most of it, because he only needed a small storage area. So that's the opportunity opened up. So I'm paying 2/3 of the lease, and he's paying 1/3 of the lease, and we got a common area, and he's a friend of mine, totally cool, and that's how it's working out. So I was able to take over the office part of it, which most of you guys have seen, the storefront, and then one of the garage bays, and ended up sporting it out with my brand colors and tile, and found some showcases, and it's gradually getting there. It's not the first thing on my list that needs to be done. The first thing is to keep the e-commerce store going, which is keeping me busy in here shipping literally for about 4 or 5 hours a day. And I'm the sole owner and operator, aside from an accountant that I have brought on a while ago that does all my books and everything. But other than that, purchasing, buying, and networking, social media marketing, and shipping, that's all me. And it's fun. It's going good. Showing up here early in the morning and hammering out packages, and at the same time answering emails and sending messages and having fun with it.
I don't know how you do it.
Can you hear me now? Can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me.
Okay.
Gabe, you said a mouthful there. That's almost superhuman to be able to handle all of that. And
That's
one
it.
business owner to another, I bow to you. It's not easy.
No.
And taking that leap right after COVID in this economy to be able to get a storefront is another bravo. I know that's turned a lot of heads, because it's not easy to have a storefront. It's a big expense each month. And to continue to grow your product line. Forgive me if I missed out on something, but I've been seeing the paint line, the Lexan body line. I've been seeing the product line grow. Very impressive. And I'll be the first one to address the elephant in the room. You do look good on camera, and the lighting in your backdrop and everything is so freaking professional. And I will be the one to be the spoiler here and talk about that fly on the wall for some of our phone conversations. You are the fly on the wall would say you are a no fuss, no BS kind of guy. If I give you any sort of maybe what I would call an excuse, you don't want to hear it. You're find a solution, make it work. I don't want to hear it. Why is it not done? I don't want to hear that. Get it done. Um, that is that kind of crack the whip, drive forward mentality that puts you on the top. It just doesn't happen because you've got some chassis that everyone wants. No, it's not it. There's a million other chassis out there. It's so much more than just the chassis. It's the whole experience that G-Speed has put together. And it's not easy for us old guys to figure out how to navigate social media. And you've made it look easy. So again, you've taken the impossible and made it look doable.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm having fun with it, and it's fortunately coming natural. And basically that's the thing. I am having fun with it. I'm driving forward.
And I think it's that attitude that makes it work for you. Every answer you're giving, I'm having fun. I'm having fun.
Yeah.
And I really think
why, and I think that's what a lot of people lose focus of in this hobby, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's about having fun. That's why I joined the hobby. I want my daughter to pick up a remote in 20 years from now and be able to run a car. It's about having fun. That's why I'm in the hobby. And you keep saying having fun, and I think that's
having fun. Having
people
fun.
need to remember. That's why you're in the hobby. You should be in the hobby, right? It's a fun hobby, right?
Well, what fuels a lot of my direction with this company and our local crew and anybody that's around us that's part of the team and our friends and stuff is what's really fueled it that I don't dwell on and think about all the time is this Bay Area in California, and really it's happened in other crawler groups too in the past years. You have some bad apples, and you have some bad experiences, and it's don't have much control over it, and the higher you get to the top, I've noticed in these last 10-15 years of being in this hobby, especially in the last like 7 years, the clearer, easier target you are. And I've been that target for a while here locally, and I just wanted to get away from not really being the target. I always knew that we were going to be in the, I believed that we were going to be where we are now. But the attitude and the reactions that we used to have, and especially myself, to the bad mouthing and naysayers online and social media and events and stuff, it would really affect me, wholeheartedly, because I believed in what I was doing and the company, and I would come back and lash back, and what we had to do, and myself, not we, and I, some friends have taken example, is you just got to control and not react to it, because I've learned in these last few years there's not many bad seeds out there. There's not many bad apples out there. There's so many good people that I'm learning in the world, because especially with me in the position I am with Team G-Speed Chassis, is I do everything. I do all the shipping. I see all the addresses and I see all the names, and I throw extra stuff in packages because I know these people, and I'm talking on face to face with guys in other states all the time, and those people are out there, and the further and further I go with this company and networking, I believe that, and it's not worth lashing back at a bad apple on and a naysayer, and you just let them, you just thank them for their input, and that's it. And that's what we've done, and it's really worked out. And for myself, which most people know on G-Speed and follow my own personal pages, what helped out a lot too is I used to be more of a hothead, and I used to drink. So right now it's 2.5 years. Well, actually, it was 1,000 days sober the other day, and I posted that up on Facebook. And everybody saw that, and that helped tremendously. So I try to be a good example of for a lot of other people to not influence themselves with substances like that, and then stay healthy. And like myself, I post and I'm open about what I'm doing, for my health. And now I'm training for Spartan races, and I did my first one last month that went amazing, and going forward in the hobby, I'm back to promoting and getting guys back into running with their RCs, because which Mike knows, and a lot of people know that I do the ultra scale 5K races. And actually, I just got word a couple weeks ago that the race is going on at Axial Fest, at least West. I don't know if it's going to go on at East. Do you know, Mike?
I haven't heard anything about East doing it.
Okay,
So
so it's going on over here at West, and
okay.
I'm looking forward to that. And that's later in the summer, and I'm already not really, I'm training for myself, but that's going to be a good event for me.
Good
And
for
I
you.
did good in the past years, and I won first place in my age class last year. But I want to win first place over the kids this year.
Okay. Wow,
So
that's a big goal.
yeah,
But
yeah. So that's what I'm going to shoot for. Hey, it may not happen, but that's what's in my vision. If you don't aim high, you ain't going to get there.
I want to congratulate you on your sobriety.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a big milestone. I have my sobriety date tattooed on my back, March 21st, or March 24th, 2009. So I've got quite a few years, but every day, it's something to be celebrated.
It is.
Here, make sure you continue down that path, and it's working for you. And I can tell everyone your formula for success is no BS. You're not just sitting there just rattling something off to just amuse people. It's based on cold stone facts, and it works. Pete, do you have that picture? Can you load that up at all? Can you share your screen? The G Speed bag, and I'm going to tell you why the Gabriel Fleming formula works. He took a small collaboration project, which was important to carry off from the get-go, was to collaborate, joint vendor growth, working together. And when we partnered up to be able to do this special edition bag, thank you for sharing that, Pete. This bag right here, if you take a good, cold, hard look at it, it does look good. It's the logo. The wrap turned out tremendously well. But that bag literally changed carry-all. I'm not. We've had records broken and sales broken in certain amount of time over a certain day. But in single day sales, it was unbelievable. And then just completely ran us out of inventory, which we should be restocking. I'm happy to say right now, mid-July looks like a restock date, and we can pick up right where we left off. All right, Pete, you can take it down. I
What's
just
up with
wanted
the red
everybody
shoes, though?
Oh,
What's
no,
with
go ahead and scroll through that one, because Gabe is going to get a kick out of this. Gabe can totally appreciate this. The man competing in red sneakers out there on the comp trail can get a load of that. And that was not by design. Those sneakers were a Father's Day gift to me. And we did just happen to paint the cliffhanger body in the carry-all color. So
That's
I'm going to be rocking some Nikes that match my truck body.
Awesome.
There's not many people out there that can appreciate it as much as Gabe. I think maybe one or two other I can think of that can actually get the humor in that, but they look good. But I mean it. Your formula is no BS. It works. So for people listening, take an example from Gabe and how he's living his life, and keep it fun. And support one another. I haven't heard anything that came out of your mouth that would have even oozed any sort of jealousy of anything. No sense of competition with another brand. In fact, I encourage you, go try another brand. It's there for you to use it. And that, it works. So thank you again.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, and I think that's, Mike, that's a good point. You talk about jealousy, and, one of the things that I like, Gabe, that you did say is, hey, listen, we all have options. There's tons of flat rails out there. Hey, listen, if a TGH works for you, great. G Speed works for you, great. It's not about being jealous. It's about exploring your options and having fun. That's the bottom line in the
Love it.
dotted line, bottom line.
I do like to think that Carriol kind of had that mentality right out of the gate. Our very first slogan that we came up with when Carriol got started, I said that the C in Carriol stood for choices, and the A in Carriol stood for alternative, saying the choice is yours, the alternative is us. And it was just this no gun to your head, no one's making you buy this, no one is forcing you. It's here if you want it. It might speak to you, and if it speaks to you, we're here to serve you and help make the experience fun. Period.
And one last question I have for you is,
Fire away.
been following your post and stuff. So you're setting up a little course outside your shop, right?
Oh yeah,
What are your plans for that? I mean, it looks super rad. I mean,
yeah. So I'm glad you asked about that. So it's kind of funny story. So I'm moving into the place, and I had no focus and no vision for outside at all. I was just inside. It was a commercial space. It's this place now. I can get all the stuff out of my garage and going through all that. And then I had kind of a thought. Actually, it wasn't even sparked by me. There were right next door is San Ramon Auto, and it's a bunch of mechanics in there and cool guys. It's a place that does work on my Forerunner. And one of the guys was outside, and I was talking to him, and he said, as I'm looking at the storefront of my new store and storage area, to the back of me was the landscape area behind me. He's like, "Hey, you should put a few rocks out here, and do your things out here," because they don't even realize what I do yet. We really haven't had any full blown things go. Well, at least at that time, haven't had any rigs out yet. And so then I thought, and I looked, and I'm all, well, yeah, that would be kind of cool. Have a little small pile that a customer can, I can show them like what's up. So the owner happened to be walking through that day, and actually the next day, and was looking around and showing me some stuff with the security and just new building type tour around. And he goes outside, and he walks out of my storefront area and outside, and I'm following right behind him, and it just clicked in my head. I remember what the mechanic said about some rocks, and I'm like, Stuart is the owner's name, totally cool guy. He was right there, and I looked down at the ground. I'm all thinking, okay, well, a little 10 by 10 area would be cool. We could take out some of these little shrubs, out some older ugly shrubs there. So I go, hey, Stuart, for some customer, I told him my little thing and plan, and hey, you think we could put some rocks out here? And he wasn't really looking at me. He was basically looking at what I was explaining, the landscape. He was looking, and he looks down the side of the building. He goes, yeah, I've hated the way these shrubs looked out here. And, I'll have my landscapers come and rip them up. And how much do you want me to take up? And he's looking down the whole side of the building. I'm looking at this 10 by 10 spot. And instead, he's got probably about 35 yards of area out there. And so he ended up having his landscapers come in, ripped up all the shrubs, capped off all the sprinklers, and said, there's your area. So fortunately, R&H Hobbies up in the Sacramento area, which is a friend of mine, Al. He has kept sold my product in his store. He is in a similar auto strip area with a bunch of garages, and he has a storefront at the end of the building, which is just a storefront not hooked to the garages. But he's leasing a couple of the garages down the way. Well, in the last year and a half, 2 years, they accumulated a bunch of rock from all the surrounding areas of Sacramento, his customers and, him and his friends and stuff. They had a full-on indoor rock crawler area and course there. Well, he decided to do something else with this space, and I think he's going to start building motorcycles again. And it just wasn't a popular thing because they got Lake Folsom right up. They got a lot of cool places, and as soon as winter was done, it was quiet. Not a lot of people used it. So I heard about it, and I talked to him, and he said, well, if you want all this rock, which I wasn't ready for yet, I was just getting my lease, and the shrubs weren't up yet. And he says, if you want it, come get it. And I said, I want it. I don't care how I'm going to do it, where we're going to put it. That's what's going to happen out in front of my place. We're going to have a comp area where we're going to have weekly comps, and that's going to be Team G Speed's training ground, and anybody else is welcome. So I called my friends up and team members, and we got like 3 dually 1-ton trucks up there with dump trailers on, and we caravanned up to this place one weekend, loaded all up on pallets and in these trailers. And fortunately, my buddy Dean Anrig, he's got a window covering business in Hayward and had a backlocked space that we ended up storing. I don't know, maybe 8, maybe 11 tons of rock on
Wow.
12 pallets there. And it
I
sat there.
remember seeing the post. I remember
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
the post. I watched it.
Yeah, sat there for a bit, and then finally we were ready to move it in and moved it over. And now it's all here. We do need some more, and we're working on building up the underneath structure with wood and pallets, and it's coming together. But it's going to be a cool place for locals to come here instead of drive all the way, up the mountain that we have here. And
Mike, we might have to make a road trip.
Seriously. No, it's just I'm very jealous that you have that little opportunity. I hate to say it, I don't use the word jealous often, but I'm jealous.
Come on out.
It's fantastic. Yeah, I think when we get to the West Coast again, we've bounced around. The last time I was out there, we were able to hit Reeves' spot when he had his indoor course, and we had a few, got back to Proline. Once you get out on the West Coast, you're in the hub of it all. There's so many people within a couple hours of each other. It's a great experience. Gabe, you guys are over the top. I can't thank you enough for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Dave.
Everything you guys are doing is on point. I will be posting and sharing the rest of my experiences between the build and everything that's happened with this flat rail. I'd hold it up, but the camera angle, it just doesn't do it any justice. The experience of buying a G-Speed is phenomenal. I would encourage anyone to do it. What you get here is what you get. This is no BS. I love it. I hope our paths will cross at Proline by the Fire. I wish you a happy Father's Day, Gabe. Peter, I'm going to let you sign him out, or I will keep yapping.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. I was proud to be here.
All right,
Awesome.
Dave, thank you, and we'll be in touch. Thank you so much for joining.
All right, you guys have a good one.
You too.
Pete, you got to hear it. Pete,
Great
you got
show.
to hear it here first, buddy. Listen, I'll tell you, Pete. It's no smoke and mirrors. It's very transparent. When you deal with Gabriel Fleming, it is what it is. It's that simple.
But you know what I like the best is I like the vision and the attitude of the brand. Helping,
Man,
having fun. I mean, I heard fun every fifth word. I mean,
seriously, every
just
time his
just wish
answers are
Hobby I wish the
perfect.
hobby was more focused with that mindset. I think it would be a lot more enjoyable. And like Gabe said, there's some bad apples, but the way he's so focused and driven on taking his brand.
Listen, he has his blinders on now. I don't think it's the sobriety. His sobriety might have calmed his temper, fine, but it's his attitude of put the blinders on and simply focus on the fun and drive forward. Let the bad apples sort themselves out.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with the good people, and he nailed something right on the head, and that is there is more good people in this hobby than there are bad apples, and that is a fact.
Yeah.
So yes, can Facebook and social media and all the nonsense chew you up and spit you out if you don't have thick skin? Absolutely. I talk to people every day that's struggling with some social media drama. Every day somebody calls me with some story. And I will tell you, you lead from the top like Gabriel Fleming is doing and take a page from his playbook and simply just throttle down and spread the fun. Good vibes and good karma.
Yeah.
Go to all. We need more people like Gabriel Fleming. You nailed it, Pete. You said it best. We need more people like him in this hobby.
Yeah. No, that was it was great seeing him on. And
That
great
was
seeing him on
awesome.
G-Speed.
It sucks, dude. I totally lost hearing. I'm hearing you lightly. I don't know how the audio is anymore.
No, it's good.
I threw a temp mic over here out off to the side. But something happened maybe in the headphones. It completely shut out. But we're going to get through this. I know we're coming up on our hour, but
We got a
I don't
couple-
have anything to do tonight, Pete. we can go a little late. I'd rather
A
throw
little
it.
late. I just want to give a shout out real quick to the people. GA
Yeah,
Zombies joined us. Crawler Cults in the house. Westmaid, RC Pro Rack, Adrian, Bobby Lindquist. We got quite a few people in there. What's going on? Just type in the comments. We're just going to go over a couple more things. I guess first we could talk about quickly is the RC drops this week. I'll take that segment if you want real quick. And
yep,
then, so you noticed Armor came out with something new. I feel like every week there's a new truck dropping, right? This week happened to be two, TRX 6. I was at a local hobby shop today buying paint for my Jimmy. And I was talking to the owner, and I said to him, "What about those guys that paid all that money for that Snap-on 6x6? Paid $1,300,000." And he said to me, he said, "Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. It's just the body. You look at the X-Max Snap-on. You look underneath the hood. It's all the same stuff, But then you look at the TRX 6 they just dropped. Just like all the trucks, Mike, we've been talking about in the past episodes. People are going to love it. People are not
absolutely.
going to like it. Even the Armor 4S.
Yeah, it's either for you or it's not.
Yeah, it's different flavors. So, I always like to see how these trucks do, you know,
Absolutely. Oh, it's
Firestorm.
going to hit the right market, Pete. The right people will get behind the 6 by. The price point is perfect for this TRX 6. The price point's perfect.
Yeah. So we'll see how they do.
Yep.
It's good to see, like the base camp and all these trucks we've been talking about, some get slow traction and some, some take off immediately. It helps the RC community and, there's a different taste for everybody.
Absolutely.
So how's
Yeah,
did
I
you get
think
any scale, mate?
the 64 Impala, when Red Cat dropped that low riding bouncer, I've seen plenty of RC guys get their pennies in a bunch. Oh, that Impala is not for me. Well, maybe it wasn't meant for you, but there's plenty of people that love that Impala. So yeah, I think you said it best, Pete. The new trucks, the new releases are going to keep coming, and if it's for you, it's for you. But it's never going to stop those people from getting on there with their thumbs and putting their expert opinion out, and letting the world know how they feel that they don't like it. um,
It's good to see variety, like we said
yeah,
before,
absolutely.
Gabe
Dude,
said about the
did you see
different.
the one that Axial dropped? They did one of 25 limited edition.
Oh, yes, the base camp. Yeah. And,
It was off of the Gladiator.
oh, the Gladiator, sorry, yeah.
It was off the Gladiator. They did
25,
25
and somebody
limited
said it was
edition.
$1,000 or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. And
In the
listen,
comments about that.
this was a limited edition special truck. In the beginning, it's been out for a while. I think it was posted on the VIP page for a while. Um, is it a hit? Is it a miss? It's not for me to critique it. Listen, it's not for me. So move on. But it's got to be right for someone. Being it's a limited edition, but the, it's just the perfect example for if it's not for you, move on. Let the hobby grow, and there's going to be trucks dropping all the time. It's just exciting to see a new drop.
Yeah. Well, and like Gabe said, there's options out there. Like there's plenty of
Absolutely.
companies, there's plenty of RTRs, there's plenty of 6x6s. It helps the community grow. I don't think it's a bad thing. It helps to diversify. There's a truck out there for everybody, right? Everybody's price point. Um, so that's the drops. You got any scale mail this week? I got something. I got one thing.
Well, I think the one scale mail, I don't think I'm going to be able to do a really good job of being able to pan my camera around and be able to do it any justice. But the first thing I wanted to touch on was the RC Pro Rack. The Micro Elite is now in stock, and what's so cool, if you remember, when we had Judd on as a guest, Pete, the Elite was that ability to transform into a truck stand. Um, and now you can get it in microform. And I've got the wall over here next to me, all done up, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and more than I care to count, racks. It, it's exactly what Judd had talked about, making space. There you go. I love that blue one. It's what Judd's been preaching. Um, Get the trucks hung on the wall, and you're going to start to make space. And I didn't get it right away. I've had trucks hanging up before behind me in a different format, so it didn't save me any space. But holy crap, it happened. I get it now. The micros are not sitting on a shelf anymore. I saved space. I got a whole new shelf now, and I got my micros up on a rack. So if you go to rcprorack.com, the mini elites are available. And the rack system, the patented rack system from RC Pro Rack, it works. And they are in stock. So that was what came the week before, and I didn't get a chance to really touch on it. I just wanted to come back and recap on that mainly. If you don't have anything right now, I'm just gonna go into number 2. We got the 1.9 trenchers in. If people were looking, they are in stock. They're in your hobby shops now. I'm super excited about the 1.9 trenchers. I'm gonna do a wheel swap. I've got the Crazy Crawler foams that I'm gonna put in here. Crazy Crawler foams with the Trio wheels. I'm doing like this 3 truck swap. The trenchers are gonna go on that flat rail comp truck. These wheels and tires are going over to the base camp. So it's gonna be like a 3 truck swap thing around, just trying to get tires jockeyed. But I think these new comp 1.9 trenchers need to be on this one. I got the better setup in this truck. Now the G Speed truck that I just built, it's got the Mamba micro system in here, micro Mamba, a steel bomb-proof, steel gear, bomb-proof trans. I mean, it's set up. This thing is probably worthy of some 1.9 trenchers, but I've got a super cool set of the Proline Trexus tires, and I like the width of these tires. So I'm going to leave these on this truck. I'm really happy with the way the G-Speed chassis went together.
You like that body, huh?
Yes, you have a cliffhanger body. Yes, let me see the back of it, Pete. How do you have your setup? Jersey Devil in there. Okay, perfect. Very nice.
I remember when it came out. This is the TGH one that I was talking about. This is my C2 for September.
Nice. I like it. It's a nice clean setup. Very nice.
Nice body Proline came out with. I remember when they came out with that.
Nice.
Yeah, the 1.9 trenchers look sweet, man.
I'm excited about them. I just noticed that you're actually rocking a hoodie tonight, and a Crazy Crawler Keep On Tiny Trucking hoodie. I didn't know they came in a hoodie. I'm jealous of that, dude.
Jealous
Sick.
twice tonight. No, it was hot today, and then all of a sudden it dropped like 20 something.
I know.
Shorts, and it just dropped like 20 degrees.
I got long sleeves on. It was cool. Very not chilly, but there's a breeze out there. It dropped in temp.
Yeah,
big time.
Man, Crawler Cult for tonight. So scale mail, I got one thing.
Yes,
I know
please.
the internet was, last week we talked about the
the new trail wheels.
Yeah, the new trail wheels, the Type J I mounted today. And the one thing I like about this is, the adjustable hubs on the back,
Yep.
screws, they come out. And when you talk about a wheel that's so easy to mount, I think my daughter was helping me mount these. I think we did it in less than 15 minutes, all 4 of them. I mean, it's like 6 screws, and if you see you can't really see the bead, but it just beads up perfectly. And a lot of guys now, what they're doing is I was talking to you earlier on the phone about this, is they come in different colors, right? So they're taking the black and they're taking the red insert like an A-team, and you could swap the colors.
Yeah,
Purple
absolutely.
and black, red and black.
I love it.
This was a good release. This is
I like it.
BF Goodrich, the skinny, but yeah, definitely something worth checking out. A lot of nice colors in this. Just came out last week, so I just got these. Nice looking wheel, man.
I like it.
Yeah, nice looking wheel on the Pro lines. I don't know what I'm going to put it on because I got stuff all. I mean,
Now, I wanted to touch on something while Gabe was still on the show. I was able to step in and congratulate him on his sobriety. That was something that struck near and dear to my heart.
It's a big
But the other thing that he mentioned, Pete, was the autism crawl.
wow.
And that's something that Judd Rummage from RC Pro Rack spoke to us about before. That's something that the West Coast guys get behind. Oscar Ramirez and
Jeff
Eric
Ramos.
Serino and Jeff Ramos and the entire crew behind ASD crawlers get together and they do the autism crawl. And it's one of those events that definitely needs to be on your radar. And I hope it's an event that you and I can get to.
No, I
One
would,
of the
I would love to get out there to see it. I mean, Trail is a second-year sponsor for that event, and I'm pretty excited about that. Jeff Ramos reached out to me a couple of months ago,
Yep.
and Trail had no issue sponsoring that event. So we're gonna
Now,
have
well,
stuff down
I
there.
think
So,
Harry all got behind it last year. We sent out a very custom V1 autism sling bag for it. So kudos to Gabe. I loved hearing his passion for that event and showing support for his friends and other people, other guys in the RC community. It's phenomenal. I love seeing that support for the other comps. And the autism one's really near and dear to my heart. And I'm going to do my best to try and hold this up. Um, I think out of respect to the guy who did the artwork, he didn't want to get bombarded with a million people hitting him up with private messages. So I'm going to keep it quiet. I'm not going to say who did the custom artwork, but when you start to look at the level of detail from the puzzle pieces there in the skull um, to the side panel pieces, so if I hold this way, so you can see how he worked in all the puzzle pieces with the word bring it and bring the rocks, bring the awareness. It had this double meaning of bring it. It's a rock bouncer, bring on the rocks, bring on the action, but bring on the awareness for autism. So I'm super pumped that I was able to do another autism awareness theme build. I did a monster truck last year. The year or two before that, I did a Nitro Revo autism awareness theme build. They become this kind of passionate um, uh, thing that I've gotten behind to just do these theme builds to bring awareness for autism. I'm going to do my best to bring it down for 1 second. It's worth seeing. Um,
this is your rift, right?
Now, I know it's not going to fit on camera, but what I was able to do was dye the cage, 4 different like puzzle pieces, and we got the wrap on it now. You can see this thing's completely wrapped. The colors match the different sides of the truck. Rubber TPU printed window netting. So I have it folded down just to get a closer look at the cool skull heads that I was able to find to put into it. The blue, go blue for autism. There's kind of a little bit of a meaning behind the blue wheels. But it obviously, Pete, you can see it's completely decked out with all and everything Trail makes, all the aluminum accents, power hobby, direct
Great build.
voltage, high voltage servo. Um, one heck of a great build. And it was a huge pleasure to do it. And uh, yeah, so that was something new that I've been working on. It's been on the workbench. Wrapped that up. I got this flat rail done. We brought the Phoenix to life. Recently, I've been playing with the SCX6, FMS, Mog. Yeah, we've been keeping busy here with all sorts of little projects.
So build wise, I mean, I told you earlier on the phone. Yeah, that
Yes,
looks fantastic.
you're huffing fumes earlier, right?
Yeah, well, I still got half of it in pieces. I still got a lot of painting to do left, but spent the day today painting. It was not like you. It was nice today. I said, why don't I take it out and start painting? And it was good to get out and paint. I got halfway through the back. I started the front color, and I'm hoping to be done by Tuesday, reassemble. Got an interesting paint scheme. It's not blue, Mike, so don't worry. I went out of my comfort zone with the color, so
Nice.
it'll be way different than what you expect. But with the Jimmy, I did the from Big Squid. I got the idea. He took the leaf under and put it back to normal, so that raises it. So now I need 2.2 wheels. I need 2.2 tires. It's not a simple. I got to buy a new front bumper, and so there's some logistical things I got to work out. But once it's done, I got some good ideas for scale. It's a nice truck. I'm excited once it's done. Not a comp truck, nice trail truck, take scale photos. And, I think Rob Matthews said, scale is what your vision is, right? Everybody's vision of scale is different. So, we'll see. Different size driver, right? I was looking up drivers. They got to be like this tall because that's how big the Jimmy is. And, so I'm excited for it. Nice to add to the fleet. So, yeah, that's what I'm working on, parts of painting. But so yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Looks like you've been busy. And anything else on your radar? We got Badlands coming up next week. I think you froze up there, Mike. Yeah, so for the guys, there's quite a few guys going to Badlands next week. Definitely wish I was heading out there. But it looks like it's going to be a blast. Some of the lives that they've been having. It definitely looks like a cool event. So I'm sure post up your adventures, and sure it's going to be a good time. We got a lot of great events coming up. Badlands, and then you got Blue Rocks coming up, and there's definitely a lot of good events coming up. So definitely put them on your calendar. I think Mike and I are going to hit Proline by the Fire, and so yeah, we'll definitely keep going live on Saturdays, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you everybody for joining. We appreciate it. Appreciate all the support and messages. If you ever want to be a guest on the show, definitely reach out to Mike or myself, and we'll definitely get you on. All right, so we'll talk to you next week, and happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And I'm going to try to get some wheel time in tomorrow morning, and be good, be safe, stay healthy. Take care.